morning, several members of Code Pink, along with retired Army Colonel Ann Wright, were inside the Judiciary Committee, the House Judiciary Committee hearing that was about FBI's misuse of national security letters. Several of us were standing, I was standing in the back with a sign on my shirt that said Fire Gonzalez. Medea Benjamin had Fire Gonzalez on her shirt. Ann Wright was dressed in like a business attire, very formal, nice looking. Didn't have
she wasn't in her usual Code Pink.
No, she didn't have any Code Pink anything on. But at one point, the witness was suggesting that the FBI should be allowed to investigate themselves about the problems with the national security letters. And so Ann Wright stood up and said, "We don't trust the FBI, there needs to be an independent investigation, there needs to be oversight." And then she sat back down. And then Chairman Conyeors then said, "No, you can't sit back down, I'm having you escorted out of the room." And she was escorted out of the room, immediately put in cuffs and frisked and taken to the Capitol Police to be booked, although we're not sure what the charges are. She's been booked and is being taken to Central Lockup. Actually, Ann Wright was scheduled to speak at Brown University, I believe, tonight. She had a 2:30 flight out of Baltimore that we've had to cancel. And it's very unclear as to whether the Capitol Police took it upon themselves to arrest her or whether Conyeors ordered them to arrest her, but he certainly did not put his foot down and do anything to stop her from being arrested. And just for the record, this thing that she did, speaking up in the hearing, it's something that happens all the time, that many of us have done, and as far as I know, no one's been arrested doing it. Usually you're escorted out of the room and then released. So this is an unusual occurrence here in the halls of Congress, and it seems like they're stepping up their campaign to suppress freedom of speech. And this is Midge Potts from the Rayburn Building in D.C., and I'll keep you updated.
So have you been in Conyeors' office?
We've been in Conyeors' office for the last couple hours. The Chief of Staff is working on helping us figure out what's going on.
Have they been cooperative?
We've been told that John Conyeors didn't order her to be arrested, but we're not clear on exactly what the deal is. They haven't been uncooperative. They haven't had the police remove us in the last 2 hours.
I see they're heading in, so we should probably follow.
We'd like to speak to the constable.
He's not here.
When will he be here?
Sometime this afternoon, I'm sure. What would you like? You want us to set up a scheduled meeting?
Well, we'd like to wait here to talk to him. We're confused. Ann called back again. She said she's being sent to central booking. She's upset. She doesn't feel the congressman has done all that he can. She feels like if he really put the pressure on the police, she gave me the name of the captain, Mark Sullivan, and said that he's overstepped his bounds. She feels that the congressman could get her released, and we feel like we would like, if you're telling us he's done everything he can, we'd like to hear from him what he's done, because she just made her last possible phone call and said that she feels that he hasn't.
Okay, well, let me give you an update on what I've learned since you all left. He, as I said, he has already called the Sergeant at Arms office, and we were also working through other channels to once we found out that she was being processed. I understand that just about 20 minutes ago, he actually wrote out a check himself to pay her bond because we found out that she had been arrested. So, as I have said from the very beginning, Mr. Conyeors did not want to have her arrested. He made his intentions known immediately, and I believe that some of you all were down there and saw him send his staffer out to say, "I do not want to have her arrested." From that point, which has now been about 3 hours, he has done everything in his power. He is a member of Congress. The Congress has a power. The police have a power to make them aware that he does not want her to be arrested, and he has now gone to the extraordinary step of paying his own funds to have her help her pay her bond.
Well, there is no bond, so it's nice symbolism.
Well, evidently there's something.
You know what? This escalated we should be clear here. The police overstepped their boundary, but this escalated from before the hearing even started by staff people of the congressman. And the woman from the judiciary in charge of that committee room totally
Violated our
harassed
civil rights.
us, violated our rights, told us to sit in the back of the room, told us we could only sit in the last row, which is an absolutely extraordinary thing to say given who John Conyeors is. So she then had us escorted out, and I told you this, had us escorted out of the room because we refused to sit in the back of the room. And when we were escorted out, the police would not let us move.
They held us.
And we could not get anybody in the committee to come out and say, I demand these people be let go. Because the same thing happened, this spiral happened, and the police said it's now under our discretion.
Yeah,
we
we've
can't
started
let
the
them
process.
go.
We have to follow the procedures. We must follow through all the...
So you said that Congressman Conyeors wrote a check that if they will allow her to be bonded out, is someone taking that check down?
As far as I know, I can find out. This is all happening
You've
as
been
you walk back in.
there enough. That's
No, I
not how
know.
they do
I
it.
don't think so either, but that's what I was trying to clarify. I'd like it on the record, that's all.
Can she make her 2:30 appointment that was made 2 months in advance to get peanuts?
I don't know. As far as the
Why don't you ask the police?
I would just
what's
personally
gonna happen?
appreciate you.
The money that Mr. Conyeors paid was for the fine that she incurred for the charge. And we sent one of our counsels, the charge was public nuisance. And one of our counsels has gone over to take the money, went over to wherever this was, D Street. And she should be released as we speak.
Well, that would be wonderful. Do you know how much the fine was?
I do not. I do not know.
That would be wonderful.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
We do want to pursue the issue of the Capitol Police and...
I understand that.
And the Judiciary Committee would be the perfect place to
Judiciary Committee would be
pursue
the
it.
And
perfect
we
place
want to
to
know
do
what
that.
are our rights in committee hearings, because we were taken out this morning before the hearing started. We've gone to we've gone to umpteen hearings. We've never, ever been asked to leave before the hearing. In fact, we're told it's basically before the hearing. If they didn't like what we did, which she didn't like, and I could see her not liking, we were kind of, being big brother spies, she said, put the things away and sit down.
We did.
Immediately did.
And then she came to us 3 minutes later and said, now move to the back of the room. You must sit in the back row. And that just didn't seem right.
Okay,
So
well, that's a separate issue. That's
But
something
it's
that's
part of
relatively,
what
if this hadn't escalated, that's something that you come to us, we talk about it, we figure out what's